So since Christmas is done, I am working now on my Maddie for New Year's. So this is what the final result is going to look like. Well, similar because water marble doesn't always turn out the way you want it. And it's not always identical. The products that I'm using are Orly Bonder as my base, of course. I'm using Kleencolor White, both as my base color and for the clock face. For marbling, I have Jamberry Coral Reef, LA Colors Circuits, Broadway Sand in Heaven, OPI, that's Berry Daring, and Wet and Wild Bijou Blue. And then, of course, everything's being topped with Seche Vite. So I'm going to start with putting on the base color. I've got clean, dry nails that have already had the base coat applied. So I'm going to start with the top coat. Oh, the rhinestones I'm using are medium colored. I'm also using a silver striping polish from Salon Perfect. And since my Simply Peel's been failing on me, I'm using these vinyl nail covers. So I'm going to start with my white. I'm getting the white down. I'm going to be doing 2 coats. So I just start a little bit away from my cuticle, push up, and then draw around and down. Gives me a little bit of a gap between my cuticle and the color, but it also keeps my cuticles nice and clean. So again, up, as close to the cuticle as possible, down and around. Now, this is just the technique that works the best for me. Everybody's going to have their own technique that works the best for them. Yeah, I know my nails are different lengths. One of them chipped and I haven't felt like filing everything else down. And sometimes I don't get as much as I want on the first swipe. It's easier to avoid smudges if you curl your hand into almost a fist and put your nails off the edge of your work surface. So with my thumb, as you can see, I sliced the hell out of it earlier this weekend. I actually have a liquid bandage over that to prevent it from getting irritated by the nail polish and the nail polish remover. It still didn't stop the pain from the nail polish remover. That hurt. So be careful when using knives. Don't let them bounce off of a bone and into your finger. I'm going to be investing in some cut-resistant gloves. Because if I'm not cutting my fingers, I'm cutting the tips of my nails, which make me, it's a little irritating, to be honest. And so now I'm going in for my second coat. I'm doing 2 coats because I like nice, bright marble that I don't have to use a lot of layers to get a decent opacity on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my nails and then I'll be back. Now that I've got my base color applied and some skin protectors on, instead of the Simply Peel, I'm using vinyl skin protectors to see how they work because I haven't been too happy with the Simply Peel recently. I'm going to start creating my bullseye as soon as I get this bottle of polish open. There we go. I'm going to start with one of the lighter colors just because I know it's not going to be part of the final marble. I'm doing things a little bit unorthodox in that I'm not drawing from the center the entire time. I'll be drawing from the corner that I'm working on. And what I'm trying to do is create kind of like a firework effect. So I'm going to start with a couple of drops of my Wet n Wild. Now if you're having trouble getting your polish to spread, if it's watered down already, try the temperature of your water. If that doesn't change anything, because if it's too hot or it's too cold, you're not going to get a spread. If that doesn't help, I have had mixed results with adding a couple of drops of acetone to the water. It just kind of thins the polish out once it goes down. You can add a couple drops of acetone to your polish, but keep in mind that's going to cause it to break down over time. Usually I use lacquer thinner if I'm not getting a good spread from the polish that I'm using. Lacquer thinner is made of the same stuff as nail lacquer, just without the pigment, and it's a little bit thinner and more watery than nail polish. But it does seem to help thin things out so that you can get a good spread. Also look at the brands that you're using. Some brands spread better than others. Some polishes spread, or some, yeah, polishes, the metallic versus cream versus shimmer versus glitter can all have an impact on how well your polish spreads. So if one brand isn't working or one type isn't working, try a different one. I've had great results with OPI and Jamberry. I know those ones are part of the MLM crowd, but I've had really good results with the Jamberry polishes. I've had really good results with, again, OPI. Wet n Wild has been doing well for me. Broadway's kind of hit and miss. Sally Hansen usually has a fairly decent spread. Sometimes the cheaper polishes work great as far as water marbling goes. And also, if you're not using filtered water, that can have an effect depending on where you're at and what your local water supply is like. So now I've got all the colors that I want. I don't want a whole lot because I do still want to see the final design. I'm going to draw up an anchor, and then I'm going to draw out from roughly the center. And so now that I've got that, I'm going to draw in, and draw in, and then I'm going to draw out again. And now I'm going to draw in again. So I'm doing it a little bit differently than most people would with a water marble. Just because, like I said, I want kind of the firework effect. So I want it to look like it's a burst. Alright, and I see a spot that I like, so I'm going to go ahead and dip my index finger. And I'm going to clean up. As you can see, it kind of looks like fireworks. Let's go ahead and pull the skin protector off. And that's the final marble. Focus. Waiting for the... There we go. So that's the final marble. I'm going to continue with the rest of my nails, and then I will meet you back. Now that I have all of my nails done with the marble, and there's a little mistake here and there, but overall I like how it turned out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my clock face on my 3 center nails, my index finger, my middle finger, and my ring finger. So I'm just going to take my white, starting with my middle finger, about halfway up, create kind of a half moon shape. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's going to be altered a little bit here in the mistake's going to be covered up here in a sec. And then for my ring finger, I'm just going to create a quarter moon. And then the same thing for my index finger, except in the opposite direction of my ring finger. Grab that hair before it gets too dry, because pet hair gets everywhere. All right, now that I've got my clock face started, I'm going to outline it in silver. And with my striping polishes, I don't wipe off to the sides, I swirl. So starting with my middle finger, I'm just going to draw a line around the half moon, to outline and perfect the shape. That looks fairly round. So now I'm going to do the same with my ring finger. Except this time I'm going to rotate my finger a little bit. And now my index finger. Okay, so now I've got my clock faces done. Now what I'm going to do is on my pinky finger and my thumb, I'm going to do some writing. I'm using a bronze Sharpie. So on my thumb, I'm going to write the year, in theory. Okay, maybe not with the bronze Sharpie. That didn't work. Let's try the black Sharpie. That works quite a bit better. try one more thing. I'm not quite happy with how that looks. There we go. So the fine tip Sharpie works the best. I'll go over it a couple more times just to make sure it's nice and dark. Now when you're going to do Sharpie art, you do want to make sure that your top coat is completely dry. So over here I'm going to try to write. Happy New Year. It's super tiny, might be a little hard to decipher. Hopefully it doesn't smear when I put the top coat on. So I'm going to top coat all of these. So keep your fingers crossed that this doesn't smear. A nice thick glob. Do a couple of globs for this one. I really don't want it smearing. And it didn't smear. Awesome! Alright, I'm going to do my right hand and then I'll be back. Now that I've got both hands done and top coated, I'm going to go ahead and finish. I have a little bit of rubbing alcohol on standby just in case I mess up. So for my middle finger, it'll focus. There we go. So for my middle finger, I'm just going to draw the hands of the clock pointing toward midnight. So I want the small one. Dang it. So that Sharpie is not working for me tonight. Alright, so we'll try again. Why is it not working? There we go. So that's the short hand. And then the long hand. And then I'm going to put a dot where I want 11 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Same for one o'clock and 2 o'clock. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a layer of top coat over that and give it a chance to dry for a sec. And then for my index finger and ring finger, I'm just going to put my dots for, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 9 o'clock with my minute hand right there at 2 minutes to midnight. Maybe should have waited a minute, but as much has happened. There we go. Now for my ring finger, I'm going to do my shorthand right along the inside right here. And I'm going to do 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. I'm also going to draw part of my minute hand angled off and give that a nice big glob of Seche Vite. Now for the fun stuff. So instead of using top coat to adhere the rhinestones to my nails, I'm going to use nail glue. I'm going to try that technique instead of the top coat to see if that has any impact on how bright the rhinestones shine. I'm going to put a couple drops of nail glue on the top of the nail glue lid. Get a drop and put it right where 12 o'clock is supposed to be. And then I'm going to grab a green rhinestone and put it for 12 o'clock. Now I'm also going to be putting a rhinestone where the fireworks are coming out from. And with that, I'm going to use different colored rhinestones. So this one's going to be red. Hopefully I got enough glue right there. I don't think I got enough. Nope, not enough glue. This is the part that sucks about using glue. All right. Take that one off and we'll try again. That's better. All right, and then for this one, I'm going to put my little green gemstone for 12 o'clock. And that is not green. I don't know how a purple one got in there. There we go. So green rhinestone for 12 o'clock. And then since I've got it out, I'm going to use this purple one for the fireworks. For this nail, fireworks are going to start right up here. And I'm going to use a pink rhinestone. I think that one worked. I think that one's broken. All right, scrape that off. Here we go. There's a nice pink rhinestone. For my index finger, I'm going to do a purple one. for my thumb. I'm going to use a blue one. I'm going to go right here between the 2 and the 0. And there we go. That's the final look of the manicure. I will probably be doing another New Year's themed manicure, fireworks, and all that fun stuff later on this week. Thanks for watching.